Good evening, everybody, and what a good one it is. It's so nice, isn't it, when we've got some really nice weather that we're all thinking about. So I reckon I was just looking at the forecast for the next week, and they do say that it's still going to be very nice, which is so lovely. Um, Actually, though, we've had to water our garden a couple of times already because we just haven't had any rain, which is kind of nice, but not if you like your garden. It's not so good for that, is it? Can't be thinking of watering your garden in blooming March. Anyway, virtually the last day of March. Last day of March. So lots of things happen at the end of the month and beginning of the next month. So the people that are card kit subscribers, you will have an email in your inbox today. Many of you have already noticed it, allowing you to pre-order the card kit for April, which is officially launched this time next Sunday. But for those people that are card kit subscribers, you get the chance to get it whilst it's still available and be on its way beforehand, before it all launches. So that's that one. So I should be busy doing those. Also look out on Tuesday, because I've then got the workshops launching. So the workshops for April launch on Tuesday, the 1st of April. So that's something else to look forward to. And even more looking forward to is the fact that we have got picture perfect easy frames. Yay! They are rather lovely. And I'm going to mix them. I wanted to make a more masculine type card today with them, although either way, I'll show you both ways that you could do. So I am mixing them with some delightful die cuts, which are called Cozy Town, and also some designer card, which is wood grains. So I'm going to show you all of that in just a minute, but also just remind you that I will be back on Wednesday, the 2nd of April at 6 o'clock for another YouTube live with some nice spring type cards. However, in the meantime, let us first show you the picture perfect easy frames. So I've cut them out here to show you. Oh, can't see that very well, can you? Let's put that on the back, then you'll be able to see it better. So these are the picture perfect easy frames, because I kind of think that they look like a picture frame. Oh, if I get it, stop it moving around. It's designed to be able to fit onto a 5x7 card. However, I'm actually going to make an A5 size card today with them, but just to show you the sort of size that we're looking at, it's 17 centimetres by 12 centimetres. And then you've got the white frame here. Not quite sure what that is, but it's a bit smaller. It is 12 centimetres that way, and then 7.5 roughly that way. So lends itself beautifully to all sorts of things, maybe even a photograph, which is rather nice. But I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with it. So mixed with that, I've also got the wood grain, bring these in, the wood grain designer card. Now, you can, of course, use this for any occasion, but I just felt that it looked quite right with this. And so I'm going to show you the card in a second that I've done, and I'm going to do one that's quite similar, but I thought that these lend themselves really well. There are 12 sheets, 12 A4 sheets in a card pack. There are 6 designs, so 2 of each, and they are wood grain. So they are ideal for that sort of more masculine background, if that's what we want to call it, but it can be used for anything, of course. So they are 350, I think it is, GSM, so a really good card stock weight on there. And then let me bring you the card in to show you. So this was version A of what I've done with it. So I've used one of the A5 foiled edges cards, which sort of inspired me to go for that type of thing this time. But I'm actually going to make the backgrounds clearly not foiled. They will be mirrored. But nevertheless, I think it's going to be nice. And then I've got these die cuts. So this die cut is from the Delightful Die Cuts Cozy Town. I just think they really look lovely. I've also put in the sentiment from the fuchsia set, Julie Hickey Designs fuchsia set, and I'm not quite sure if you can see that, just about, but I've put glossy accents on it. Whoops, can you see what I mean? That it's actually a bit shiny. Now, to be fair, they weren't working very well because I was having trouble with them, but now I think I have got them working, so I'm gonna do that as well. So those are the Cozy Town ones. So let me show you what you could expect for those. So you've got lots of the sort of little cottages and bits and pieces. And then you've got like a pub. And I thought if it was a man that was retiring, it's quite nice to have a pub there by the side of it. But you've also got some trees and bits and pieces. Then you've got some also lovely outside the church. Again, it could be a wedding card. If you use this set with it, of course, you can use anything you like. And then this one is a few more sort of shops and bits and pieces, but with ice cream cones, village cafe, that type of thing. So there's that one, but there's also the floral arrangements. Now, I did use this one for the Thursday evening class that I did just this Thursday gone. And so this is more if you wanted to use it as a floral piece. So you literally could have your floral display here and pop them into the corner like I've done that. So it just makes it a little bit different, really. So they are all available over on the website as well, all under the umbrella of all YouTube live products. So without further ado, let me just show you what the kit looks, or not kit rather, what the dies look like. So this is your outer one for your easy frames. So this will cut you your scroll type outer piece, and then you've got this little one which will cut you your frame inside. Now, I wanted to try something a bit different, so I'm not sure whether this is going to work yet or not. So I've already cut the scroll out once using the wood grain, okay, because I like that effect. And I'm going to take the frame itself, the little frame, and I'm going to put that onto one of the slightly lighter. So this is obviously darker, but I'm going to put this onto one of the lighter ones and then run that through my machine. I think I'll actually trim that down a little bit. And then I'm going to cut out my frame again, my outer frame, in the same colour that I just showed you, that I've actually cut this bit out. So this is sort of like a turquoisey type of colour. And I'm just thinking it might be awful, but it might just work. So I'm just going to run that through. And then I'm going to grab my piece of this sort of teal, turquoise rather, and just run that through as well. So let's pop this one out. And then I'll just put that one in. So got a little bit left over there. Just shake that one down. So you've got sort of a slightly lighter colour that's just going to go on the front to give that sort of nice, like a picture frame really. Now this one clearly is going to look a bit different. So as I said, bear with me because I'm not 100% sure. I thought about it in about the last 10 minutes. I happened to put the two together and I thought, oh, wait a minute. I think that looks nice. So we shall see. So I'm just going to take these bits out. So lots of release holes there for you. Don't fall out before I've even had a chance. And I just thought it was I liked the design of it because it was not too fancy, not too lacy, and therefore might fit in more. I thought a retirement card or birthday, hate to say it, but sympathy, that type of card. I'm just going to, it's got a lot of bits and pieces here, so I'm just going to release them. Don't want to tear it. There we go. Oh, let's just put all these bits to one side, because what I'm thinking of is potentially slightly offsetting the one before. So I'm going to put all of those pieces to one side for the minute, and then I'm just going to work on my middle section. Okay, so for my middle section, let me just grab that. I've already pre-cut myself a piece of card. It's hammered white card, nothing more special than that, and it measures about 13.5 centimeters by just under the 9 centimeters, just as a rough piece, but I'm going to trim it down more than that, so I'm not too worried about the size of it at this moment in time. With it, I'm going to bring in my Cosmic Shimmer, what were these called? Iridescent shimmering watercolor paints. Use them an awful lot, but haven't used them. You can see I use them an awful lot. Look at the mess they're in, but haven't used them for a little while. So I'm going to get myself a flat brush so that I can pick up the amount of color. And I'm going to go with, let's have a look. I'm going to go with that sort of iridescent green that's at the top here, and put on plenty of water. And then I'm literally going to take that across the bottom. Let's put some more water on. Take that right across the bottom of my piece of card. Okay, and just paint that from side to side so that I'm going from one edge to the other. Then tidy up that. Then I'm going to go for this sort of bluey colour that's right next to it. So the more water I put on, the less intense that colour will be. But I think they should go together quite well. You could obviously, I mean, I'm using these, but you could use all sorts of different colour medium. You could use your distress oxides, you could use your ordinary watercolours. You could use your ordinary distress inks, paints, pencils, you name it, you could use it for this particular technique. So I'm only going with those two colours, but obviously we've done that before now, where I've made sort of sunsets and that type of thing with it. But I'm just making that across there. Now I've got to be a bit patient because I've got to wait for that to dry a little bit before I go over the top and put anything onto it. So I'm just going to clear off that bit here. And just do that. Oops. Let's clear that. Now I could, and I might even do it, but I'm hoping not to, I could even get my heat gun and actually start to dry that a bit, but then it might warp even more, so I don't want to do that. It's a 300 GSM hammered card, so it's really thick, but I just want to try and keep it as straight as possible. And I'm going to leave that to just 1 second to see my card base. So my card base is an A5 or a C5, we also call it. I don't know why we call it both things, I'm sure. Which is basically an A4 piece of card folded in half in terms of measurements. So I've then got myself a piece of gold mirror card, and that measures 13.8 by 20 centimetres. So I've given myself a fair bit of a border. Then I've taken a piece of the white hammered card again, and that's 13.3. Just 1 second. 13.3 centimetres by 19.5. So the gold one, 13.8 centimetres by 20, and this one, 13.3 centimetres by 19.5. Now, I've just noticed that Fiona says an A5 is the card and the C5 is the envelope. Oh, well, not according to where I get them from, but that's very interesting. I didn't know that, but there you go. We all live and learn, do we not? Fiona, font of all knowledge. I'm afraid we haven't got the links working today, so I do apologise about that. We will be getting that back most of the time because it seemed to work for most people. So if you are wondering where the links were, having seen them on Wednesday, now they're not there anymore. We will be having them, but not just yet. So I'm going to now pop this one on. And then turn that over, stop it from glaring at you. And then that gives you just that little bit of a border. Now, I've got to trim my piece of card down to 11 centimetres by 7, because what I'm going to do is actually be framing this piece, and I'm going to be putting my sentiment on here as well. But I need to cut it down first. Now, I could have done it so that I had the 11 centimetres and 7 centimetres piece in the first place, so that I didn't have to trim any of it down, so that I painted onto that size to start off with. However, just in case, you know what it's like, sometimes you don't quite get to the edge and it's just a bit dicey. I'd rather do it slightly bigger so that I can trim it down when I've actually finished. And that's what I'm going to do now. So this piece is going to be 11 centimetres by 7. So the 7 is here. And as I said, it is at the moment just under the 9. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of both sides, I think, because I quite like both sides. So 7 and then by 11. Don't know that either side makes much difference on that one, so I'll go to this one by 11. So just throw those pieces away. Okay, now again, I'm still wanting that to dry. It's virtually dry now, but I still want it to dry just a little bit more. Let's, in the meantime, pop this together. So I'm going to put my inner frame straight on top of my other one, so it gives me that sort of bulk look. And it looks like a piece of sort of wooden frame then, which I think is quite nice. Pop that on the top. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, did it all go funny a bit then? It did here. I could hear it all. I need to do something about that. It's a bit of a fire hazard otherwise. Annie, this isn't the monthly card kit. No, monthly card kit's next month because it's not a new month yet. So that's my frame if I wanted to do it like that, which I think looks lovely. But I'm thinking that I quite wanted to do 2 layers, okay, because I wanted it to be quite a substantial frame. Now, it might not look very much there, but when I bring this in and I put that roughly in the middle, I'm going to stick it straight down to the centre. Let's see if I can bring that in a bit more. I'm going to stick it straight down in a minute. But I just thought that with that sort of bluey bit behind, and if I just off-centered it, so let me show you what I'm trying to do. Can you see that? Not as much as that. Hold on. just off-centered it so that it is behind it, but only just showing. So you've got that sort of a hint of a blue there. And then with that in the center, I thought that that went on quite well. So I reckon that's what I'm going to do, if that's all right with you. That is what I'm going to do. So that, whoops, wants to stay attached. Okay, so let's put a bit of glue onto here. So I don't need to put it on every piece, but with the glue gun, it's fairly simple to do it. So as I say, it's quite intricate, but it's not so much so that it's all lacy and holy and, you know, all that jazz. So yeah, looking forward to showing you the card kit next time. But as I said, that won't be available for, it's available to subscribers from now until Wednesday, but then available to everybody else from next Sunday, when I will be launching it properly and everything. So everyone then gets the chance to have a look and see if it's something that they would like to add to their little collection. We've all got little collections, haven't we? There's just not enough hours in the day to do it all, to be fair, but right, so let's pop that on top of here. Oh, let's take out the one in the middle. But I'm just offsetting it so that it is not absolutely over the top. It's just got the hint of that turquoise colour from behind, which I felt went in nicely with this. Okay, now I'm now going to pop a sentiment on there. What have I done with, there's always something I haven't got, isn't there? Oh, I've left it in the other room. Oh, dare I do it without it? No, I don't. Bear with me, folks. I'd left my stamping platform in the other room and I didn't want to chance it. You know what it's like. So, going to pop that into the corner first. Then I'm going to get my sentiment, which, as I said, I'm going to do the happy birthday, which I think is sort of like a generic anything. Now, having popped that there, I need to get the rough idea of where this frame is going to go and therefore where I want my sentiment to be. So if I just hover that over the top and then pop my sentiment around there roughly, I think should be about right. Okay, so let's just then grab a magnet, couldn't think we called them. Pick that up and I think I'm going to go for, instead of going for a black, I'm going to use a dark brown for this one. Pine cone. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up, pop that over. Happy with that, looks good. Pop that to one side for a minute. Bring in my card and I'm going to go for a top fold there. So this and this in place. So again, need to roughly sit that a bit more down there, I think. So I'm just going to get a pencil and mark off where I want it to be. because I want it to be in the right place, but it doesn't matter about putting the pencil on there because, of course, that goes over the top and then you can't see it. So, as I did get this wet, I'm going to be on the safe side here, and I'm going to grab myself some of my double-sided tape, because although this is dry now, it is slightly warped because I put water on it, clearly, but I didn't want it to start lifting, because that has happened to me before. I don't know if it's happened to you, but sometimes you think, oh, well, it's not warped very much, that'll be fine, and then it just won't lay flat. Do you have that happen? I have it happen, and I don't want to do that because I'm quite happy with how that's gone. It's quite okay to have a large collection of my dies, Dawn. Thank you very much. I love them too. I'm very, very proud of them. I met a friend today that I haven't seen for quite some years because she lives in the Shetland Islands. And she sort of said, oh, you know, what are you up to and everything. And I was really pleased to be able to say, actually, I have my own website and I do a lot of designing of craft things and I love it. And isn't that nice that I could say such a thing? Yeah, it was good. We like that sort of thing, don't we? But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, lovely lot. So, yeah. Now, I think I will also be very overcautious and pop a little bit of glue on there as well. But I just didn't want it to warp because that's the most important bit. Check I've got it round the right way. I've got my little tiny marks on there just to show where I want it to be, and then just pop that down. And because I've got that strong tape on there, I know that it's not going to move. So I'm going to turn that over and find some tape. Here it is. To pop onto the back. So this is a little bit different than our other frames because they were sort of more generic. They could be used for anything because they're the sort of a circle or a square or whatever. But I thought I'd go a little bit fancy and see what we like. Make it into a picture perfect design. I did think I could put pictures of the grandchildren in there, but I thought you might get a bit fed up of that. And when I saw this little scene, I thought, oh, I really love that. So it's a nice contrast to be able to do the two different things, really. So foam onto the frames at the back. Bring in my card again. Don't know that there's a right or a wrong way, but I'm going to go with that. So I'm just trying to center my card. Then I'm going to grab my cozy. Can't decide now. Hold on. Can't decide. Do we have a beautiful bouquet? Such as that. Or do I have one of my... Oh, I can't decide. I just love them. I love the fact that I don't have to worry about with that. Let me just see. I don't know if this one will work. This one is more like sort of like a retirement potting shed sort of thing, isn't it? With maybe some trees over on that side. Oh, I can't decide. Can't decide. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that little cottage. Oh, I think it's got to be that little cottage. Yeah. Now, on that cottage, I am going to put some foam, but only a very small amount. And it's got to go on this corner here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it onto that corner. Let's just check so that I know that there's not any of it going to find its way onto there really. So I'm going to stick it straight onto the corner. Okay, then I can just pop my little cottage there. But equally, no, let's stick with it, stick with it. Now, I'm also now just going to get my glossy accents. Now, these have been going for donkey's years. They're made by Ranger, but I'm sure there are lots of companies that make something similar. And what they are a dimensional. So they're not really a glue, although they do stick, but I don't think they're meant for glue to start off with. But they give a see-through finish. Now, unfortunately, because it takes a little while for them to dry and then become see-through, you might not see it all in all its glory, because it probably takes about half an hour or so for it to go off. But all you do is you simply squeeze the medium on top, and it's quite sort of easy to move it about. You squeeze it onto wherever you want it to be. Can you see that onto the H? And it's a bit opaque at the moment, but I'll have to add the photograph of this to afterwards, because once it dries quite clear. Now, and then shiny, and it looks quite nice. Now, I'm not actually really touching the base of where I stamped. I'm literally hovering this above it. And just it is quite a thick, it's a funny thing. Has any of you used it before? Glossy accents. I can't remember if what anyone else calls them, but you can. Now, I don't want to then pick this up really at this stage, because they could drip a little bit, but it's very warm in here. Gone back to that time of the year where at this time of the day it gets warm in here. So hopefully it should set very quickly. And I think you can see already that you can see. Can you see that? You can see that it's shiny, but it will be completely see-through. Yeah, it is a glue as well, but a bit expensive, although glue is expensive, isn't it, for what it is? But I just think that looks a little bit different. So our Picture Perfect frames, they're all on the website. I do have some more coming in next Monday, when all the other pre-order bits and pieces come in. So if you don't get them today, I will put them on for pre-order if you don't get it today. Now, let me just have a look. I don't know if you can see the difference really. So that one, as I say, has got this double bit on with just the hint of colour underneath, which I think goes in quite nicely with that colour there. Or you've got that one, different cottage, and slightly different. You can possibly see the shiny thing on the glossy accents on there. But that is just two frames, just one straight on top of another, rather than slightly offset. So it just gives you a different choice. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dawn. Dawn says she often gets bubbles in her glossy accents. And I think that the secret of that is that you've got to hold the nozzle right on the work all the time, and if necessary have a little what do they call them, you know, the cocktail sticks, so that you can just pierce any bubbles. But there is a little bit of an art to get to it, and as I said, I used to use it an awful lot as well, but haven't used it for a long time. And when I picked it up thinking, oh, that'd be a nice idea, it was all gunged up and I had to ungunge it, if that's such a word. So you can also own this little Picture Perfect set. Pop over to the website maximumcrafts.com and you will find all the things that I've used today, including the wood grain card and the cozy town or the floral arrangements, or a pin to pop the bubbles. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Be good to see a few more thumbs up, if you don't mind, along this little line here. I'll be back on Wednesday, as I said, with a nice spring card to show you, using dies that we've already got. Well, many of you have already got. There are a few left, but many of you have already got them. And I will be showing you something without using dies as well. So all lovely on Wednesday. And then next Sunday, if you can't join us on Wednesday, next Sunday is the launch of the April card kit. So thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all whenever I can. And I hope you have a lovely few days with a bit of sunshine on us. It'll make you feel good. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Bye.